Welcome to this comprehensive video on the 9/11 attacks, one of the most devastating events in American history. On September 11, 2001, the world witnessed the most heinous act of terrorism in the United States, as 4 commercial airlines were hijacked by Islamic extremists and used as weapons of mass destruction. The coordinated terrorist attacks were executed in 2 waves. The first wave began at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time, when American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. Just 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 hit the South Tower of the World Trade Center. The second wave of attacks involved American Airlines Flight 77 crashing into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, and United Airlines Flight 93 crashing in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, after passengers bravely attempted to overtake the hijackers. The attacks resulted in the loss of nearly 3,000 lives, including passengers, crew members, and first responders. The death toll included citizens from over 90 countries, making the attacks truly a global tragedy. The impact of the attacks was felt worldwide, and the images of the burning Twin Towers have become an indelible part of the global consciousness. The 9/11 attacks also had a profound impact on American society and foreign policy. In the aftermath of the attacks, the United States launched a global war on terror, which included the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and the establishment of the Department of Homeland Security. The attacks also resulted in sweeping changes to air travel security and increased surveillance of American citizens. Despite the immense tragedy and loss, the 9/11 attacks also highlighted the resilience and bravery of the American people. The first responders, including police officers, firefighters, and medical personnel, demonstrated tremendous courage and heroism in their efforts to save lives and provide aid to those in need. In addition, ordinary citizens showed an outpouring of support and compassion for those affected by the attacks. 20 years after the attacks, the memory of 9/11 continues to impact American society and foreign policy. The attacks were a pivotal moment in American history, highlighting the importance of national security and the need for global cooperation in the fight against terrorism. As we remember the events of 9/11, we honor the memory of those who lost their lives and pay tribute to the brave men and women who risked everything to help others. May we never forget the impact of the attacks, and may we continue to work towards a world in which terrorism has no place. The aftermath of the 9/11 attacks was characterized by a sense of shock and disbelief, as the United States grappled with the scale and impact of the tragedy. The attacks represented the most significant terrorist attack on American soil in history, and they left an indelible mark on the nation's psyche. The attacks prompted a renewed focus on national security, and the United States embarked on a global war on terror, which included the invasion of Afghanistan in 2001 and Iraq in 2003. The goal of the war on terror was to dismantle terrorist organizations and prevent further attacks on American soil. The war on terror also resulted in significant changes to the national security apparatus. The Department of Homeland Security was established, and significant funding was allocated to intelligence agencies and law enforcement. The government also implemented a range of counter-terrorism measures, including the implementation of enhanced airport security measures, the creation of watch lists, and the expansion of surveillance programs. The 9/11 attacks also had a profound impact on American society, particularly on the Muslim American community. The attacks were carried out by Islamic extremists, which led to a wave of anti-Muslim sentiment and discrimination. Muslim Americans faced increased scrutiny and harassment, and many felt marginalized and excluded from American society. In the years since the attacks, the United States has made significant strides in preventing further acts of terrorism on American soil. The government has invested heavily in intelligence and counter-terrorism efforts, and the country has not experienced a significant terrorist attack since 9/11. However, the legacy of the attacks continues to impact American society and foreign policy. The war on terror has had significant human and financial costs, and it has been criticized for its lack of effectiveness in achieving its goals. The attacks also highlighted the importance of global cooperation in the fight against terrorism, and the need for a coordinated, international response to the threat of terrorism. In conclusion, the 9/11 attacks were a tragic and devastating event in American history, and their impact continues to be felt today. The attacks prompted significant changes to American society and foreign policy, and they highlighted the importance of national security and global cooperation in the fight against terrorism. As we remember the victims and heroes of 9/11, may we continue to work towards a world in which acts of terrorism have no place. Thank you for watching this comprehensive video on the 9/11 attacks.